All right, there's our influent onto him. There we go. Yeah. Hey guys, headed out to the west side today. Got a sewage sump with a sensaphone that's not dialing out when there's a fault present. Apparently the operator had a high water condition and the remote monitoring system said, everything's fine, no problems here. So we're gonna go see what's up with that. Is it an input on the dial out system, or what could it be? So we'll be out there troubleshooting. All right, I'll see you there. Pretty basic little pump station. Transfer switch, backup generator. They've got 2 T-series lift pumps, suction lift. They work okay. Motors are up here above grade. Belt driven suction lift pump for a sewage lift station. Here's our Sensaphone Sentinel Pro. This is what is doing our dial outs. It is using a cellular antenna right here, and it takes all these inputs here. It says it's online. That's good. Here's our old control panel for pump 1 and pump 2. And yeah, the operator stated they were here and there was a high water and nothing dialed out. So let's have a look. We've got these cables, these that looks like it's running over to the Sentinel. Let's see, to here, up and over. What do they got in here? Maybe a relay panel? Yeah, interposing relay panel. Okay. Ooh, that looks bad. But they've got this one pulled out, but you can see there's some damage there. Alright. Right here. How convenient. D1 pumps off float, D2 lead float, D3 lag float, D7 power, D8 power on gen, and output for pump 1, output for pump 2. Alarm float is non-energized dry contact at D4. These are outputs to run the pump at D4. There we go. 1, 2, 3. The 4th terminal has these. It is a pair. It is green and white. Going down into a multi-conductor cable. A brown multi-conductor cable. Over here. Not seeing a brown multi-conductor cable. Let's get some light. It's kind of dark in there. Alright, where's this brown multi-conductor cable go? It must splice somewhere. Let's see. Or it goes direct over to here. Ah, yes. Level control. This is where our float switches are all coming in. Okay, yep, so off, lead, lag, and high. Perfect. That all looks good. Yeah, and here's our float switches. The sump is directly below me. The float switches come up through a hole here, spliced in this box with glands, and then those cables come up into here, into these low voltage, intrinsically safe input relays. So where is this green and white cable going that's landed on our high? Goes in here. And he goes up. Does he splice in there? That's the question. Because the first thing I want to check is what that green and white wire is doing, because if those touch, we should get an alarm call out. And before I bother with the Sentinel, I just want to verify that everything's how it's wired. Maybe it's never even been wired correctly. So can't assume anything. Let's see. All right, there's our brown wire coming in, and it does. It runs over there to the top of him. Did I look right at him? There's a chance I looked right at it. Close this back up. Oh, yeah, there's this top guy. There we go. Okay, so there is our multi-conductor brown cable right there. And he is spliced onto his own special float. Which is all jumbled up. So he is completely independent of everything here. Looks like we might need to play with that float, which means we might need to open the sump. Let's try jumping it out first. Wonder if somebody left me a jumper here. Is there any gentleman on the site who left me a jumper? Doesn't look like it. Have to make my own. I'm gonna need you in a minute, but not yet. With my jumpers, I like having just a little bit of copper, so there's very little chance of me shorting out things I don't want to short out. So let's jump out 4. So basically we take this back row, which is the common, and we close it to the front row, and that light should come on for one thing, and there it goes. So the light's blinking on floor. And Jamie, the operator, should be getting a call out. We'll hold it there for 60 seconds, maybe 30 seconds. And then when I remove it, it should stay on until it's acknowledged. Let's see if they got a dial out. Hey Jamie, are you getting a high water at... Oh, is that what you were talking to Josh about too? Getting access to it? Okay, so maybe Mario can log in and see? See if he got it. Okay, I'll call him. Thanks, Jamie. Okay, bye. So he didn't get the call, but he's having trouble logging in. So that could be a separate issue on the cloud side. Hey Mario, you get any call outs for high water right now? Nothing. And you're logged into Sentinel? Okay. Okay, perfect. So that tells me the Sentinel's working, at least here on the site. Let me figure out why it didn't, because I just jumped it out right at the Sentinel, but I'll figure out why it didn't go up, because it's got its own float just for that high. Yeah, that's probably the one that goes to the Sentinel. I'm not sure which one's which. I'm going to look in there in a minute, open up the manhole. But yeah, because one of the high floats goes right to the Sentinel. Were they both lifted when you were here? That one was up, but not the highest one. Okay, I'll figure that out, and then I'll figure out why lag didn't trigger anything. It should, yeah, I want it to. Okay, okay, Mario, thank you. Thanks, bye. Okay, so let's acknowledge it. And there it goes. So yeah, we've got two issues. Why? There's two high floats in there. I think the one that we just jumped is the very highest. Let's make sure it works. And then let's make sure when the lag float lifts that this thing dials out. We need to open up the sump. We need to put gloves on. And we need to play with some float switches. All right, let's do it. All right, there's our influent. There's our pump suction lifts. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm assuming there's one way down there. One, two, three, four, and then that's the fifth high. Yeah, so that's the regular high, that red one. And then this is the high. Extra high. I don't know why they're so far apart. I would put those together, but either way. So my choices are reach in there, grab the chain, lift the whole thing up, play with the floats, see the alarms trigger. That might just be what I've got to do. I wonder if I can even reach that. Does he have a hook nearby? That broom might work. Where's your hook? If I could use my channel locks. All right. Or I just jump them out here, jump out the inputs. Let's jump out the lag and see what happens. And let's verify. So that multi-conductor cable has a brown and then it has a red on the lag relay, this wire right here, a red. And that red in our multi-conductor cable comes over here. And it goes right onto this interposing relay, which is what it's supposed to be, lag float D3. And then from there he goes up and goes into input 3. Good. So what is the common for that voltage to fire him? And where is that supply voltage coming from? Is it coming from this fuse? Could be. And then if it is, yeah, AC constant, load, yeah. Interesting. Okay, yeah, let's see what kind of voltages we're working with here. What's going on? Alright, so we'll just go to ground. That'll probably give us a good answer. Yeah, so we got 120 all the time. Then we've got nothing there and nothing there. But here's our lead. It should be closed. Yeah. So here's 120 across that neutral. This one's true, so it's got 120 there. So yeah, it's sending out 120. Okay, let's see if we can light up D3 just by jumping out this relay here. And we'll see what happens. It should suck in both pumps. What are we doing here? We're putting 120 onto him. There we go. Both pumps. They're going to run until it goes down. D3 is true, but for some reason D3 up here is not true. You see that? So they're going to suck it down until that off float hangs. And we want to get notified when, you know, you've got the lowest float that turns it on and off, then the lead one, that's your normal operation. So we usually just wanted to go between those two, off and lead, off and lead. But if the lead pump doesn't handle, the lag pump will come on. But I don't want to wait until a high alarm to get notified, or a high. I want to know when the lag pump comes on, because normal operation is this, off and lead. That's abnormal to have the lag pump come on. I want to call. So right now it's in lag mode, and 3 is not lit up. Why is that? That's the question. That's the $1 million question. It's closed. The relay is closed. Connections are tight. And even when I jump it out, nothing. Nothing at all. That really makes me think there's something wrong with that input. Or it's not configured. None of these first ones, off, lead, none of them are working. But the station is working. So that's the other question. How did they get a high water? What caused the high water this morning? Because this morning it was up to that last blue one. It wasn't all the way to that one, the high, but it was to the high float. No one knew. They just happened to look in and see. Why is that? Let's just see both pumps running. Eight and a half amps on one. Yeah, so both pumps are running. They look good. Nice and balanced. Good. 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 So yeah, they're both running. That's good. Everything's working. They got these little current transformers, current switches they're not using anymore. Yeah, everything seems to be good in here. It could be a question of whether the float switches are working, because we just tested it by jumping it out. So if the float switch contacts didn't change state, that could do it. Picture, serial number, Pro. Oh yeah, and probably of the serial of the router. Very good. Why is that number different? I don't know, but we'll get it anyway. You can see it's pumping down. You can see the off float there, it's almost to it. Wonderful.
Hey, man.
Hey, Mario. When you came this morning, were the pumps running?
Yeah, when I got there, the pump was running.
Both of them or one of them?
I think it was only one of them was running.
And all four of the blue floats were underwater?
No. By the time I got there, all of the thing was almost just the lag flow. The lead flow went to the lead flow and it was pumping down.
So it was above the lead then?
What's that?
It was above the lead or the lag float?
It was actually, when I got there, I opened the grease line was all the way up to
Oh, okay, okay.
I guess, like I said, when I got, even Randy Baby said that when he got there earlier this morning before I could get something, and he said that the red light was on, but he didn't open the valve. He went in there today, so the red light, but he said, okay, I guess he said I'm not sure if the pump was running, but he said the pump was running, he's normal. So he just created an alarm for everybody needed, he left. And then when I got there, the pump was running, the only one that I could hear, and then when I opened the wet valve, I noticed there was a quick line on the hot top of the backwater. It was all dirty, so I knew something was up. But I'll tell him, I didn't get a no alarm ready.
Yeah, that the way it works is that extra high float. That's the one that calls you on a high water.
Yeah.
And then the lag will run the pumps, but right now the Sensaphone isn't, even though it's got an input for lag, it's not seeing a fault when lag comes on.
That's pretty crazy, because I remember you did that, and I remember calling a warning.
Yeah. So and that's what we got to check online with the Sentinel program. But I think there's just something wrong with the input, because I jumped them out with a jumper wire, and nothing, no change.
Oh, okay. So now, because all this time I thought the high water float, the front one from the top, that's the one that I remember when I get it calls right away.
When you lift that one.
Yeah, the dog used to call right away. So I never did see it go. When I used to get high water alarm calls and I go there, it usually only hits that front float. It never did hit the high.
The fifth one, yeah.
Yeah, fifth one. Never did. I never did see it since I've been.
Well, let me try. Is there a buzzer here?
Not that I know of.
All right, well, I'm about to find out. Let me jump out the high one.
Okay. See what it does.
It sucks in something, and it turned on the red light.
Yeah, so now if you go to panel, there's a three red toggle switch there. Usually when the red light comes on, the first toggle switch to your left, it switches, so you gotta.
Oh yeah, high level alarm reset. Yep.
Yeah,
cool.
Put a reset to get the alarm, the red light. But yeah, it's kind of strange. How come only now it's doing that? Because I remember, I know you put it, even Wes was there when you did that alarm call. Not alarm call, but the warning call. And then, like I said, all this time I know when I used to change floats and all that, or I used to trigger the float, you could see it used to always trigger the fault float and it caused an alarm.
Yeah.
Now it's not doing that. Now it's you gotta wait for the high to call out alarm now.
Yep. Yeah, that's what I'm seeing.
Yeah, that's kind of strange.
Yeah, those are running.
Is there any way you can push that to the fourth float instead of fifth float? By the time it hits that fifth float, I think it'll be coming out of the mantle outside.
Yeah, like I almost think we should both of those highs should be in the same place.
That's what I figure. That's
Yeah.
what I said. Yeah. I like I said, when I started taking care of that place, I was wondering how come there's, and the way I guess Johnny told me, that's the high float. I said, okay, that's how it was when I started. So
Yeah, totally. It doesn't seem like it runs them when it gets high, unless the off float needs to be true as well. Let me see. I can jump that one out.
no, because I know when I like I said, I think today what I did is I wasn't doing anything. So what I did is I pulled all the floats out of the hole and put it on the ground. As soon as I put it on the ground, that float float go up. It triggers the red light. So
Yeah, we got that. It's a nice red light. Very fancy.
yeah. That's strange, man. Like I said, I remember even when I used to go there in emergency calls, it hits that fourth float and it calls me right away. I never did have a call or where it reaches that high float to call out.
Yeah, it's just weird because I'm looking at the Sentinel and like I've got a terminal list that is accurate, 7 and 8, and
And you know what is weird?
there's nothing coming from that fourth float that you're talking about.
And you know what's funny? When it used to hit that fourth float, you look up the Sentinel, there's those numbers with the red.
They're supposed to light up. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
it used to always light up number 2.
Number 2 would light up.
Yeah, number 2, you used to always light up to tell me that there's an alarm.
That's weird. Number
Yeah,
2.
exactly.
Let's see. Let me see here. Number 2 comes to this faded yellow. The faded yellow comes over here. Yeah, number 2 is set up to come on when lead is true.
Yeah, so it's funny is when leads when he pumps, none of that come on.
Yeah, I think the inputs on the Sentinel are toast.
So that might be our problem.
Yeah.
Some part of it.
Yeah, and that fourth high float isn't connected to the Sentinel at all.
It's strange.
I know, because what you're saying is you flip that and get called.
Yeah, and like I said, I remember even when I used to troubleshoot them and pull it out. When I used to pull it out, he automatically called. So what happened was when I used to pull the floats to clean the floats out, and he'll call. Jamie used to get frustrated. So what I used to do is when I know I have to pull the float tree out, I'll turn off the Sentinel Pro so it doesn't call the office. And I'll pull it out and do my thing. And only thing that he does is just let us know that the Sentinel Pro is offline.
Yeah, totally. Then it doesn't bother.
Yeah, and then then like I said, then what I'll do is I'll send a Sentinel just to trigger the high float, not the high float, but the fourth float, see if it calls out high alarm, and it did. So like I said, now it's not doing it. Like I said, could be like you said, that Sentinel Pro is stopped.
Yeah. Yeah, which I don't know if I've seen that before, but the next thing I want to check before we call it shot and replace it is to go online and check the program and make sure it's all set up correctly for these inputs that we have.
Yeah, because I remember a couple of times I go there and it hit the lag float, he used to call a warning.
Yeah. And then the other thing we should do is have you guys come and move that high down to the high.
Okay, yeah.
Then they just fire together.
Can do that. And all I gotta do is just go from the top on screen down and then just loosen it.
There's plenty. There's lots of slack here. There's plenty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All they're doing is just stick up there, whatever, how they got it, and then slowly just drop it in slowly, and then drop to it right next to the high flow.
And then the only problem I'm seeing is I don't know how it got high today. I don't see anything wrong here. The only thing I could think is maybe the power was out and nobody knew. But they have a generator.
My thing I would say is when it was coming up, I think what happened was the on and off flow got tangled by debris. So when it came up to the lead flow, it couldn't come on because remember now the on and off is what energizes the lead and the lag.
Was it really dirty in there? I do see a paper towel or a towel or something.
Well, when I got there, yeah, you could see the level of the line was all the way up to where the high flow is. So like that's why I always when I check the wet well, that's the first thing I look for. If there's a second grease line above the normal.
Yeah, that tells you how high it gets. I got you. Yeah, I can see it now. I see a grease line.
Yeah, so it tells me that something would happen. So one thing I can think of is usually if it doesn't come on when it's supposed to, it's either the on and off flow got tangled with debris and it came all the way to the top. And like you said, when it hits the high flow, it turns on the pumps, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what.
Well, the fourth float doesn't turn on the pumps. Lag does though. I jumped out lag and it turned on both pumps.
Yeah, usually I know the lag's supposed to turn on both pumps, but I wonder if the on and off flow didn't energize the next two flows, then it hit the high flow. Would that turn on?
I just did that a minute ago. I jumped out the high and it didn't do anything.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah, all that high does is turn on a red light.
See, all this
And it used to turn on a buzzer as well, but they've jumped that out.
It used to turn on the flows, the pumps when it hit the high before. When I was there, like I said, that's the part that puzzles me now is because when I did it before, all that stuff used to work.
The fourth float would turn on both pumps.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, I'll look into that a little bit here before I take off.
Yeah.
Yep, we'll figure it out.
Okay.
All right, thanks, Mario. Appreciate it. Okay, bye.
Okay. Bye.
All right, so the operator's saying the high float used to turn on everything. Why is that? No more. So that should start both pumps. Of course, there's no wiring diagram. Our high is 7 is the common. So the same common for the off, that's normal. And then it's coming in here to 6. No, to 11. Oh, that is 11. Okay. Where else is 11 going? Eleven leaves, but it also goes somewhere else in here. Where's the other place 11 is going before it leaves? Definitely some suspicious stuff. Okay, so here is the return from the high. And here is the, what? Oh no, okay, I pulled on the wrong one. There's 11. Oh, I missaw. There's only one 11 there. Good. There's not two. So here's our return from our high. It goes up onto wire 11 and into him. Let's follow. What is he doing? He's coming over, and at the bottom of our panel, right there. Here he comes, 11. And he stays 11, and nobody else takes his name. He comes all the way over here to the bottom of this guy. So when he's true, yeah. Yep. So the way this switch works, when you energize it, it's essentially a relay that's powered as well. So you can manually operate the relay, or you can use voltage. And then you've got 9. Let's check a state on these contacts here. So this is like a relay with a handle. So you can operate the relay with voltage, and you can operate it by hand. So there's voltage there. Let's see what's going on. Got the ground. So I got 120 on 9, nothing on 28, nothing on 11. And then when the high happens, oops. Oops. Oh, 10, yeah. And when the high happens, the light comes on. I've still got my 120 on 9, but now I've also got voltage on 28. 28. It comes back from the door right there, goes into here. There's 28 right there. 28 comes in. Here's your load. Interesting. I wonder if this is a flashing relay. 26. Where are you going? .26 right there. Then he goes to this pink wire, and the pink wire goes up into the skinny flex, into this guy, up and over and to them. Perfect. Yep. So this red wiring here on the normally open of this high relay goes just to the light and buzzer. Now we've got these 3 here. What are they supposed to do? And do they change state? So we'll start with continuity. I imagine one of them is a common. Normally closed, normally open. Let's see if that guess is correct. Normally open. Ah, good. Okay. So here's your normally open contacts. During normal operation, it's fine. And then during a high fault, when it's tripped, hello, Mr. Wasp. You can leave me alone. There's your contacts there. So during a high fault, when it's tripped, 38 and 37 are true. So what the heck are 38 and 37 doing? They go into our door bundle, they run over, and there you go. 38 and 37, field wiring terminals, nothing landed on them. So unfortunately, our operator remembered that he could flip that float and it would do stuff, but it hasn't done stuff for a while. Now, we've got this bundle here that looks like it was torn out that goes over to our our dialer, we've got 1, 2, and 0. So these could totally work. And P1 and 2. Interesting. I wonder if those are the manual runs, outputs that aren't used anymore. So it's not wired that way. It could be. We could make changes to it to make it that way, but it isn't. I'm down to propose that, but I'm not going to make changes today because I don't see anything operational that's broken. It's just built this way. Before I go making changes, I want to get permission from the customer and the operator. So I feel confident that I know that the high float does call out. The lag, lead, and off float doesn't work on those inputs. I'm confident that when the fourth float, the high float, does trip, it fires this relay, turns on the light and the silent alarm, and also closes these field contacts here that nothing's landed on. That's it. That's all that high input does. It doesn't go anywhere else. It doesn't do anything. We can reset that. It doesn't run the pumps either. Totally independent. So we could change. We could make changes to that if we wish. Then the last mystery is, how did the level get so high this morning? I don't know. But one theory is maybe the power went out. The only issue with that is there is a backup generator here that's supposed to run if the power goes out. So I'm going to test that in a minute here and make sure that that works. Otherwise, yeah, I don't know what caused that high water. I have to just keep watching. Sometimes I don't have all the answers. Back on. There we go. Okay, testing generator automatic function is pretty easy. We just turn off the utility power and watch it come on. Sounds good. Let's see if that input works. Set D8. True, but there's no power on the site yet. It says it's connected. Why are the lights on? Gen started. The transfer switch says it's connected. Do we have power though? We do. Yeah. So that's all working. Double check up here. Yeah. Yeah. Good. Okay, so yeah, the gen's working. All right, so that was pretty simple in the grand scheme of things. We isolated it down to 2 separate problems. First one, call out's not happening. Kind of seems like either the dial out Sensaphone is not configured correctly for those call outs, or there's a problem with the physical inputs on the board. I kind of think it's the physical inputs. I don't remember ever being able to jump them out and not see the lights come on, but still, I think it'd be a good idea before I recommend replacing the unit to just verify online on the software that those inputs are configured for that. That just requires the operator to use their login credentials and look online. The other problem was the high sump level. Really don't know what could have caused that. We'll just have to keep watching, and I think if we can solve the call out problem, we'll have more data the next time it happens to know whether, oh, this was high or that was low or whatever happened. So, all right, see you on the next one.